out there in the bookverse, it's Stephanie, and I'm back with another video about books. So today I'm kind of going to be talking about my TBR for the rest of the year. And I know that sounds like a lot, but I'm going to break it up into a few different videos. I just want to talk about what I'm going to be doing for the rest of the year, because it is pretty much going to take me until the end of December probably to complete this readathon that I'm going to do. But I have decided that I am going to try to do my owls and my newts for years 1 and 2. Now, I know a lot of people on BookTube have already heard about owls and newts. It was really popular the last couple years. It's a readathon that's being hosted by G over on Bookro's channel, and I'll put a link to her video down below that is explaining how this works, how the readathon works, and why she decided to do it. So a little bit of context on these owls and newts. What you do is you pick which subjects that you want to take in Hogwarts. Owls and newts are the tests that are taken at Hogwarts. They're kind of like their big tests, their ACTs or whatever you want to call them. And in year 5, they will take owls, and year 7, they will take newts. Each of the subjects has kind of a prompt for a type of book that you can read to fulfill that. You don't have to only read Harry Potter or only read fantasy, and it doesn't give you specific books, but you can find books that are on your bookshelf that will fulfill the prompts that she sets for you. For your owls for year 1, it's a little bit different. You pick which classes you want to take, you read books that fulfill those classes, and then for your newts, you can only do the classes that you have already completed the owls for. So that's year 1. Year 2 is a little bit different, and I think I might explain that when we get to year 2, because it'll make more sense when you can see my TBR, and I will try to put up a list of paper or something so you can actually see the prompts, and I'll link that down below as well. I can link it to this video as well if you want me to, just so you don't have to wait for the next one if you decide you want to jump in and join in, because it's going to be really fun. So I'm going to be starting with my owls from year 1, and then move to my newts from year 1, then my owls year 2, and then my newts year 2. So I will be ready to do it with everyone else on year 3, and I am really excited about this. I am a little bit of a perfectionist in that I can't just jump into the year 3 with everyone else when they're starting. I have to do years 1 and 2 first. Otherwise, it's just not going to work for me. I can't make myself do that. Great for all of you out there who can. I respect that. I wish I could, but I cannot. So the rest of this year is going to be taken up with reading everything that I need to complete my years 1 and 2 owls and newts. Now I'm going to divide it up into a couple different videos to tell you my TBRs and what everything is going to be fulfilling within those owls and newts. This video I think is going to be my TBR plus wrap up for my owls, because I've actually already read all the books that I need to for that before filming this video, before I made this channel. So I will be getting all of that out of the way on this one, because I think that's the shortest list of books for all the owls and newts that I have coming up. Then the next video I think will be just my newts for year 1, because that's a pretty lengthy list. It's gonna be pretty ambitious to get through that one. And then the next one I think I'll probably just lump in my owls and newts for year 2. We'll see how it goes. We'll see what I got going on. But I think we'll just jump right into what I decided to do for my owls for year 1 and what each of those books fulfilled on my list. So now I decided that for each of these readathons that I'm doing, I'm going to read the Harry Potter book that corresponds with the year that we are completing in that particular time. So this time it's year 1, so I am going to be reading Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, or I already read Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone for this, and this book will complete my Potions Owl, which is read a book with alchemy in it. I was really surprised that I didn't really have books with alchemy in it besides this one, as far as I know. It's kind of hard if you haven't read the book before to know if it has alchemy in it, but I for a fact know that this one has alchemy because it's called Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, or Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone if you're from America. Yeah, reading this book was such a nostalgia trip. It was amazing to go through it again. It's actually been a little while, I feel like since I last read Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. And especially seeing this cover on it, I haven't read one with this cover for a long time because mine that looked like this is completely trashed from my childhood because I read it so many times. But it just sends me right back to when I was young. This book is always going to be a 5 out of 5 stars for me, mostly because of nostalgia, but also because it's an amazing book. Let's be honest, the Harry Potter series is amazing, and I loved it. I absolutely loved it. If you haven't read the Harry Potter series, I highly recommend jumping into them. Really, if that feels like it's a lot to bite off because it is 7 books long and some of them are quite lengthy, quite thick, I would say go with the audiobooks. The narrators are great. I absolutely love Jim Dale, who does the American versions. So really, Harry Potter, do it. You gotta do it. It's just like pop culture, something you have to complete in your lifetime. So that completed my potions O.W.L. The next book on my list completed my charms O.W.L, which was to read a fantasy book, and for that one I chose to read House of Salt and Sorrows by Erin A. Craig. This one actually came in my Owl Crate box, and I absolutely love the cover on it. I think the color changes are gorgeous. This is an exclusive cover from Owl Crate, and I love it. I think it's beautiful. So that's one of the reasons that I chose to do this one, is because I thought the cover was gorgeous. But another part is because I just thought it sounded like a really exciting book. It's about a girl who has 10 sisters, I believe, and 3 of them have died, and she just feels like her family is cursed, and she's trying to figure out what is going on and try to stop other people in her family from dying. And it is a really exciting read. It keeps you on your toes. You just really, really, really want to keep reading this book and figure out what's going on. I was reading it while I was at work and on a night shift, and I just could not put it down. It was so exciting. I just wanted to figure out what was going on. I will admit that I did guess like what ultimately was happening, but I don't think it really made the book any less exciting because I guessed things along the way. I thought it was really well written, and it was a really, really fun read. It was a little more creepy than I was expecting for a young adult book, and I liked that. I thought it was awesome and great, and I would actually recommend this one. I think I gave it a 3 to 4, like a high 3, low 4 out of 5 stars. So I really, really like this book. The next book that was on my list, I actually don't have right now because I lent it out to a friend. We are going to be doing this book for my book club this coming month. So if anyone wants to join in on that, you are more than welcome to. I do it with a couple girls from work. So if you want to join in, this is our book club book for October, and we are going to be discussing it on October 28th. So join in, let me know in the comments down below if you're going to be doing it with us, and maybe I can set up some sort of live chat that we can do along with it, or I can just post a video of our discussion afterwards and we can have a comment chat going on down below. So let me know what you think. And it is Sarafina by Rachel Hartman, I believe is who wrote it. I will try to put up the picture here. This book fulfills my Care of Magical Creatures, O.W.L, which is a book with magical creatures. Okay, I should have known that. It's a book with magical creatures, and this book is about a girl who is half dragon, half human. And honestly, I actually really, really enjoyed this book. I loved the characters in it. I loved Sarafina. I thought she was such a great heroine. She was smart, she was resourceful, she was scared, and we could tell how scared she was, but she still did brave things because she wanted to do what was right, and she felt like she could contribute to this. She didn't feel like she just needed to insert herself in it, which I like. Like, she actually felt like she had something that she could contribute to figuring out what was going on and how to stop it. And I liked the prince that was in the story. I liked the princess. I really liked, I think, most of the characters. It was a great story. It was well written. I liked the points it was making about social justice and prejudices and racism and discrimination and all those things that were going on within this society. And within this society, it's mostly discrimination and prejudice and all this against between humans and dragons, but it had definitely, you can see some like crossovers into our world and what's going on in our society. So I really liked how those were addressed and how Sarafina dealt with them. I thought it was a great book, and I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars, and I'm really excited to read the second book, which is going to be on my NEWTs list. The next book I chose, I really struggled finding a book to fulfill this. It's for my Ancient Runes O.W.L, and it is a symbol on the cover. I didn't really know what we were going for there, what kind of symbol. I wasn't sure exactly, so I decided to go with Norse Mythology by Neil Gaiman. There's kind of symbols on here. I think there's like the symbol of the water serpent and different things. So this is the one I chose. I'm going with it. It's counting. It's already counting because I read it already. So this book is not exactly a contiguous story. When you read it, you're not reading between chapters the same story just going on and on and on necessarily. It follows the Norse gods, but it tells them in kind of one story to the next. So you will have a story that follows Thor, and then you'll have a story that follows Loki, and then you'll have a story that follows Odin, and sometimes they'll cross over and you'll have the different characters in the different stories, but they have different main characters in the different stories, and you don't necessarily have to have read one story before reading the other all the time. It kind of helps because you know the characters better and you understand better, but it's more a collection of stories about Norse mythology that go chronologically, it seems, in order to the big finale. I really liked how he did this. It definitely portrays these Norse gods differently than Marvel comic does. This isn't Chris Hemsworth Thor by any means, and I definitely loved Loki much better as a Marvel character than I loved him in here, but I think this one is probably a little bit more realistic to what Loki was like in Norse mythology. I thought it was really well done. I love Neil Gaiman's writing, and I did enjoy this book. I think I gave it a 3 out of 5 stars. It was well done, but it's just not something that I necessarily get super into and want to read over and over again. The last book for my O.W.Ls will fulfill my Transfiguration O.W.L, and for that one you had to read a book that either had some sort of transfiguring or shape-shifting in it, or a cat on the cover. And since I don't necessarily know all the time if the books have those types of things in them before I read them, I went with the cat on the cover, and I read Endless for Magic, again by Neil Gaiman, because I love him. I think he's amazing. This is a collection of short stories by Neil Gaiman. I liked some of the short stories more than others, so when I get into a short story that I didn't really enjoy, it was nice that it wasn't super long so I could get through it a lot more quickly, but it also was kind of disappointing some of them that I really enjoyed that were over a little more quickly, and I would have liked to live in that world a little bit longer. But I did really like this book. I gave it, I think it's kind of a low 3 out of 5 stars, whereas Norse Mythology was a high 3 out of 5 stars. This one's just an easy read, quick, nice to get through. If you just want to read one story at a time, you can do that, and to kind of break up your reading. But Neil Gaiman does have quite a few books that are collections of short stories. He is really good at writing short stories. I think some people have even said that he's probably better at short stories than at his novels. Personally, I don't agree. I love his novels, and I will always love his novels. I think he's amazing, but this is a good book. If you want something just nice and light and easy to read, I'd say yeah, go for it. So that is my O.W.Ls. I've already completed them all. I'm very excited about that, and I'm going to be moving on to my NEWTs, which is a hefty load. Let me count for you real quick how many books is going to have to be on my NEWTs list in order to get outstanding in all of my NEWTs. Okay, I have to read 15 books for my NEWTs, which is a tall order. I am really excited to jump into it though, because there are some books in here that I have been wanting to read for a very long time. So I think this is going to be one of my favorite readathons that I've ever done, and I'm kind of just doing it on my own. If you actually are doing your NEWTs or O.W.Ls right now at the same time as me, please let me know. We can do them together, and then we'll be caught up to be able to do the owls and NEWTs at the same time as everyone else when they start doing them next year. I hope you liked this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more from me and see how my readathon goes, you can hit the subscribe button down below and then click the little bell so you can get notifications. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!